Oh, welcome back to another episode of The Mind of Reese. Today's a great day. Every day is a great motherfucking day. That's just like my mantra. Every day is a great day. The moment I wake up, I'm like, today is already a great day. I haven't even started. It's amazing. It's literally, I sit on the toilet and I'm about to go pee and I'm like, today's a really great day. I've just decided, it's like you decide that it's going to be a great day. And guess what? It gets to be that because you decided so. It's just all perception. And holy crapola, my bangs are banging. I got to tell you, these are some dirty hair day. If you don't want to get beat by your hairstylist, you don't wash your hair every day. And so my hair feels a little weird, a little greasy, a little spread apart. Doesn't want to do the thing I wanted to do. But that's bangs for you. All right. Okay, got hair in my hair. Alrighty, here we go. Well, welcome. So excited you're here. If you're new here, love you. If you're not new here, if you've been here for a while, love you. Love you. The other day I posted a piece of content that said I have made $800. I had calculated this. I was like, I wonder how much I've made every single day on average for 365 days for the past year, 2024. And when I calculated it out, it actually is a little lower than what I'd said in my content. My content said I made $800 plus dollars a day for 365 days straight on top of tattooing, which is like gangster. Because I remember when I first started really going into and getting the ultimate octopus business, building the multiple income streams, it was like when I was making $88 a day, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. It's working. It's nuts, and so I never like to neglect or negate how far I've come and really how far this gets to go and how there's no ceiling. And it's so interesting because we're all taught as artists and entrepreneurs that especially in the tattoo industry, that it's like we're capped out. Being booked out is the ultimate goal, and then the only other way you can make extra income is by opening up a shop, which done both, did both. Great time, but also it's a lot of energy. It's a lot of my time. I was like, okay, this can't be the only thing, because even though I had a shop that was making, about $100K a year or more, it was awesome, but it was a lot of babysitting. And even though my artists were fucking so autonomous, they were so in their power, still young, we still had, there's still drama that goes around, and it's still and of course I'm over here the kind of person that's always I want to see you guys rise, and and so I'm always trying to help them have meetings, this kind of thing. And so this was always my vibe. I always felt like I wanted to help them rise. And so I always, it was a lot of time and energy off of me. And I was crazy pants. So it was great. The shop was great, making anywhere from 100 to 150K a year, depending on who was there, any guest artists, this kind of thing. And then obviously getting fully booked out. So you get fully booked out, then you build the shop, and then you're like, wow, now I have 7 people underneath me, and I have all these things going, and there's so many pieces of content I got to make for the shop and all this stuff. So there's a lot of energy, attention that's going in these different directions. And so when I finally opened up my quote unquote side hustle business of coaching, my other tentacle in my octopus business and coaching, I realized, I was like, whoa, this is there's no ceiling to this. With a shop, if you wanted more, you opened more locations, but just meant more people to manage. And essentially babysitting. I don't care how great your people are. It's at the end of the day, it's still managing people. And that was something I wanted to lean away from. So I was like, okay, I am capped at a certain income level if I open up a shop, because you can only fit so many people in a shop. And especially these days where people are just I don't want to be in a shop. I want to open up a private studio, which is all well and dandy. I feel do that. Feel into what feels really, really yummy and juicy for you, and get into rooms with people that match you. It used to be where we didn't have the online space or anything especially for artists and creative entrepreneurs, in a space where we have something in common, where it's oh, we either had to just go to a shop and just accept that, like, okay, this is the shop that I'm working in, and if other people don't resonate with me, then I kind of have to keep to myself, keep my values to myself, that kind of thing. And that always stifles our growth because we can't fully be self-expressed. We don't know exactly who we are because we can't share all of ourselves. Like, me being a spiritual tattoo artist wasn't a thing when I worked with, like, old school trad daddies. And I was literally the only female that didn't do traditional style tattoos, or like Chicano style, like jailhouse tattoos. Like, I just didn't do that style. And although the guys were amazing and they always loved me and they thought I was weirdo Reese, at the same time, it was just like, you can't be fully you. So I get it. You want to open up your own private studio. And so the cool part about it is that in this day and age, there's so many like people out there that have community that could suit the needs that you desire to be in. If like for me, my community is huge on the whole artist. I'm a very holistic based business coach and somatic healer. Like I'm all about, like, we got to go through simultaneously self-healing as well as building our business because they both coincide next to each other. You cannot have one without the other. You literally cannot do the one without the other. You cannot find your message or your purpose without first finding out who you are and having a better relationship to who you are. And you cannot create content that actually builds an in-demand brand without you going in deep into your own shadows and your wounds. And if you're trying to neglect that, you will only get yourself so far. It's probably why you're here. You've gotten yourself this far. You're like, I'm ready to go deeper. Then you come with me. You're the person that's out there that's like, I want to build $1 million business. Like, I want to build a 7-figure business. I don't want to have to wait what most people are trying to make at least 100K in their business. So it's like, yeah, I'm not trying to wait 10 years to make my first $1 million in business. Like, I want to make it faster. So like my first $1 million that I ever made in being an entrepreneur, and I've been an entrepreneur for 16 years. My first $1 million I ever made was 9 years into my business. Consecutively. So if you add all of your income up year after year after year, do that now. Celebrate the fuck out of yourself. Like, it's crazy how much money you made. You're like, holy crap, I've done all this thing. Like, I've actually done it, I've done it within 9 years. The next $1 million I made, I did it within, I'm pretty sure I did it within the first 3 because I was like in the time when I started to really like open up a shop. And then maybe the first, I don't know. Like, it varies, but I know that the first $1 million I made was like, it took a long time because I didn't have the shop open yet. And when I did have the shop, it wasn't like a full blown running shop. And then when I finally had the shop fully running, that was like the year that I was like, holy crap, I've like had all these multiple income streams, but I really wanted to focus in on the coaching because that's something that really lit me up. So I let go of I let go of the shop. I went down to 1 assistant, 1.5 assistants. I have another one as well, but she's it's like part-time. And so I went from like 10 people working for me to 2.5 people working for me, and blew up my business so much more than when I had the 10. So it was just like, holy crap. Like, it's crazy. It's just crazy bananas when you think about, you're like, wait, you downsized the shop. I got rid of the shop. I did all the things. I got, like, let the artists fly. And then I made the decision to go all in on my coaching instead. Did have some income dips. Duh, that happens in entrepreneurship. If you're not expecting an income dip, then you're not growing. If the thing is that if you want just like steady, you're like, I only want XYZ income months every single month, then it's not really like, you're not like, you don't want growth. I feel like, we're always going to have those moments where we're going to have income dips. And can you hold yourself in the dip? That's the reason why nervous system work, somatic healing work, meditation is so important in my life because, you're welcome. You got into the world of entrepreneurship. You're a fucking gambler right now. You're gambling. You decided you were going to be a gambler now because you got into entrepreneurship, and that's what you do. Yeah, so you're basically gambling your money. You're gambling your livelihood. You're gambling a lot of things. People don't think about it that way when they think about entrepreneurship. They're like, oh, I opened up my business so that I can have this steady business, and I see that so many people do it, but blah, 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 blah. So So I had this, like, I was like, wow, you know, I really desire to create something that's bigger, have a smaller team, and only rely on really me, and, you know, have no income cap. Because we're all taught, especially as tattooers, now I coach so much more than just quote unquote tattooers, because you are not just a tattooer. If you are a tattoo artist and that is a part of your identity, you are not just a tattoo artist. I'll tell you that right now. But overall, I have different levels of identities. I have influencers in my space. I have dog walkers. I have service providers. I have brick and mortar services. I've got obviously tattoo artists, fine artists, FX makeup artists, nail artists, bakers. I have brand website developers. I have nonprofit brands coming in here. Like, I look at all of you as artists. You are all artists. If you are building a business, creating it by your own design, and you know, you're building this brand, this big brand, you are an artist. So I'm going to utilize the terminology artist, and I'm not speaking to the ones that only do art on skin. Okay, let's just be clear. So when I think about the artists in the spaces that, like, when I think about artists in general, we're all taught that, like, having booked out one-on-ones, if you're booking out one-on-ones, like, you know, whether you're coaching spaces or whether you're tattooing or whether you're nail art, or whether you're a brow artist, whatever it is, it's like you're only booking one-to-one work, and that only can cap your time, right? So it caps your time. Then if you're like, okay, well, I'm booked out to my ears and I open up a shop. Okay, now I have 7 people. Do I open up another shop? What do I do? Or you have like in-group programs where it's like with healers, Reiki healers and stuff, it's like you can either do group things where you're doing like group meditations, group Reiki, whatever, but they're all in person. So then that also caps out your time, because if you don't have the space, or if you do have the space, it's like this kind of thing. So what's so great about the online space is that there's no cap. Like, you literally don't have a ceiling. There's like no ceiling. It's like the universe. It's like cosmos. It's incredible. It's incredible, the potential. And some people can't handle that level of potential. And so when in this post, I was like, oh my God, I made $800 or more a day for 365 days straight. Here's what I didn't do. Here's what I did not do. Because I could tell you all the things that I did do. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Go listen to all my other, you know, podcast episodes. But I was like, you know what? Here's what I didn't do. Here's what I didn't do. And, you know, it was really quite inspired by someone wanting to come into my Scale Mastermind. And I was like so inspired. And I've been getting a lot of inquiries for my Scale Mastermind. It's like crazy. Like, I'm not even like, I haven't even really pushed it forward, but my Scale Mastermind is a very tight-knit, high-level space for entrepreneurs who are really desiring to build the ultimate octopus business. Like, you have the brand, you're ready to expand it. These people that enter into my spaces, I have an FX makeup artist, I have coaches, I have tattooers, ceremonialist tattooers, Reiki healers. I've got, you know, all different types of walk of life. And they're, you know, they mostly have built their business based on one-on-one. They're like, okay, I've built my business based on a one-on-one situation, whether you're a coach and you're just doing like life coaching and you're doing one-to-one, tattoo artist, one-to-one, Reiki healing, one-to-one. Like, there's all these different one-to-ones that they do. It's all trading time for money. And so they want to like push past that. They're like, I've already built this business. It's really going really well. I desire to help more people. And so I want to build digital products. So that's where Scale comes in. So, but I have a lot of like applications coming in for Scale right now. And I only have 5 slots left. So I'm just like, I don't want to and I'm very picky with the people that go in there, because there's only a few of us. And it's because I'm so in your business. Like, I'm literally sniffing the inside of you in your business. And I'm like in your business with you. This is really high level coaching. This is close proximity. This is for really motherfucking serious people. All my spaces are for really serious high level human beings. So yeah, if you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, well, actually we'll get into it. So it was inspired by this person. And this person actually, they had contacted, they seemed so excited and so ready. But there was this feeling of like you could feel the wobble. And there's always this wobble between the yes, I want this, and the pay button, and like the sign up or the contract. there's an identity shift, and I talk about this a lot in all of my spaces. There's an identity shift between someone saying yes to themselves and someone actually paying the deposit or paying or signing the contract or sending the money or whatever it might be, or paying for the thing. There's that wobble right between. And some people can't handle the pressure of the wobble because they feel pressure in their body and assume they can't handle the pressure. But what's so funny about pressure is that pressure is meant to go out, not stay in. So when you have pressure build, and all of a sudden you lean back because you're like, oh no, I can't handle this kind of pressure. What you've ended up doing was you have solidified an identity within your body that allows like excuses and stuff like this. And it sucks because you see it. And I'm so like, I'm a non-pushy person. Like, I'm like, hey, you got to walk yourself to the finish line. Like, I can't walk you through it. I can be here as your coach once you're walked in. I can be there as your coach for you to walk into it, but I can't walk you through to the finish line, because if I do that, then you are going to expect me to make sure your business runs, whereas I am not the hero of your story. You are the hero of your own motherfucking story. I don't handhold. Like, I am here to make sure that you get everything that you fucking need to get success. But you have to get yourself to the success. Like, I can't do it for you. I can meet you 100% of the way, but you got to meet me 100% of the way on the other side of that relationships, right? So I could see this happening, and I was so excited, and then nothing, ghost. And I was like, and I never get super heartbroken about these things, because I would rather someone ghost than someone come into my space and rely on me to save them. That shit never flies. And if I can even feel saving energy, I will literally drop you. I did that the other day. I did that last month, where I was like, this could turn into a nightmare experience. And literally $18,000 she was about to pay, and I was like, nope, we are not a good fit. Sorry. Literally saved my own life, because I can't even imagine having her in my space and her just being like, well, how are you going to scale my business? And I was like, I don't scale anybody's motherfucking business. You scale your own goddamn business. And if you can't hold that autonomy and that personal power, you are looking for a consultant. You're looking for someone else. So it ain't me, okay? And so I'm just honest. Like, I just have high boundaries, because I have high-level people in my spaces who are willing to walk through the fire to do the thing. So in this, I think of, like, there is a lot of, like, fear and uncertainty in the what-ifs, and they can feel really, really real. But the thing is the things that I've learned the hard way, and all the things that people in my spaces learn really fast, is that there are 3 things that you never do. And if you're doing any of these, that's where you need to check yourself, because it will keep you stuck. Okay, so part 1, I have had so many high-level people in my spaces, from Shanti, ceremonialist tattooer, who, she already teaches ceremony tattooing to other artists, and she wanted to get out of like the group one-to-one and the one-to-ones to online, so that she could start to really impact. And she's been with me for 3 months in my Scale Mastermind, and already has hit almost 10K euro in her in her coaching. She opened up a membership. She opened up her first online coaching program, and I was like, damn. And that's just first try. Like, but let me tell you, like, it's like she put in the motherfucking work. So she did the fucking thing. We have Amber in there, who's, was just like, she's like, I just put herself fully in, threw herself in, like, incredible energy, opened up her first, sold out masterclasses. We've had Roma, 10 to 15K months, all just like fucking doing all the things that she loves, who's a tattoo artist, a shop owner, a breathwork and business coach. We have like Charity, who's in there already starting to like really wanting to build her multiple income streams through digital products. Like I've had so many high level people in this space, and it's just like incredible. And so the one thing that none of these people that have been in my spaces, like Gio, who, also opened up her first coaching business or coaching leg to her business and really started making money last year, which was like, she made over like $12,000 in her coaching side of her business for the year on top of her tattooing, which is fucking incredible. We've had so many people come through Scale, and we have people that have still been in Scale. Roma's been in Scale for the last year and a half, and it's a 6-month mentorship program, but most people like to stick. They stay around because, it's like, it's so nice to have mentorship, right? So part one, the thing that they did not do, the thing they didn't do is they didn't wait until they were ready. Like, let's just start here, because this is probably the biggest killer of dreams I see. I hear people say it all the time. I just need to feel ready. I just need to get my ducks in a row. I'll invest when I have more clarity. Let me tell you what happens to people who say this. They never start. They stay in a loop of gathering information, trying to perfect everything before they even take a step forward. It's like they continue to watch the guy ride the bull, and they're taking notes on how to ride a bull, but they never actually get on the fucking bull and get in the arena to ride the fucking bull. And the clarity that they're waiting for, it never comes, because clarity is not something you find. Clarity is something you create through action. When you think about it, as an artist, you've built this part of your business. When you learned how to tattoo, did you sit there for years studying before you ever picked up a fucking machine? No. You got in the chair, you tried, you made mistakes, you adjusted, and that's how you got better. And when it comes to business, suddenly people think that they needed a step-by-step manual before they even fucking move. They want certainty before they act. And the truth is, certainty doesn't come before action. It comes because of action. If you are feeling uncertain, confused, or even scared, that's not a sign to stop. If you feel that sensation within your body, that's an invitation. That's your nervous system detecting change, and it's throwing up alarms. Not because you shouldn't move, but because it's new. So instead of freezing, try micro movements. Take one small step today. DM a mentor, write the first post, make the first offer. Your body will adapt. And when you feel resistance, ask yourself, is this fear or is this expansion? Because they feel the fucking same, and practice some cold exposure, literally, like take a cold shower, a short ice bath. Teach your body that discomfort is not danger. So instead of I'll move when I'm ready, say I move and readiness follows. Okay, that's part one. Part two, why all of these artists, coaches, mentors, healers, service providers, brick and mortar, owners, bakers, dog walkers, all of them, why they've built big fucking brands, and they're able to go past the one-to-one and into multiple income streams and start to create unlimited, limitless potential on where they can make money, their octopus business. They don't do it alone. This one hits because I feel like I used to be this person. For a long time, I felt like I had to prove something. Like if I just worked hard enough, long enough, I could figure it out all on my own. And don't get me fucking wrong, I did. You know what I mean? For the most part, I was a self-taught artist. I mean, I did learn through a shop, but I also had to unlearn all the bad habits because most of these guys learned how to tattoo in jail. And so I had to unlearn, relearn, and do all these things. And so as I was doing realism, I really had to just find the classes, take the classes myself. It's really just getting myself into rooms, right? I respect the hell out of people who are super self-driven, and that's so fucking necessary. But lone wolf mentality is a slow death in business. Because the truth is that every single successful artist, entrepreneur, and visionary I know, they didn't get there alone. They had mentors, coaches, community. They put themselves in rooms with people who made them think bigger. You can absolutely figure things out on your own, but it takes you 10 times longer and costs you more mistakes than if you just learn from someone who's already walked the path. Because I want you to think of it this way. Your nervous system craves belonging. It feels safest when it's in a pack and when it's surrounded by people who are also expanding. So when you try to do everything solo, your brain literally fights you. It starts whispering, are you sure this is safe? Are you sure this is going to work? I don't know. I don't know if you should do this. Because it sees no one around you doing the same thing. But the moment you step into a room full of people who are building big things, your nervous system actually relaxes. It says, oh, this is actually normal. Look at all these people making this my new normal. This is how we regulate through co-regulation. You get in rooms with people who stretch you. Your brain will calibrate to the energy around you. You practice asking for support, even if it's small. Ask for help, get the feedback, teach your nervous system that support is safe. So this is something I deal with a lot in the ARC and in all of my spaces. The scale is definitely one of those spaces where people are just like, they've either had mentorship before and they're just like, I'm ready to ask for help. Like, I have no fucks given. Like, I'm not in this space to be quiet. I'm in this space to fucking expand. But one thing I do have to teach some of my artists, especially if they're in my membership or if they're in my Beyond the Stars like container, is that like asking for support is really huge. A lot of people feel uncomfortable to be vulnerable or to be seen, especially if they feel like they're quote unquote going to bring down the room with their vulnerability, when actually they're elevating the room with their bravery. Because of the fact that they're willing to be seen, it gives permission to other people in that space to be seen as well. And hey, you know what? Someone might be going through the same fucking thing you're going through, and you guys get to go through it together in a very expansive way. This is how we regulate our nervous system through co-regulation. This is how we rewire belonging. Because if your identity is, I have to do it all alone, start saying, I am someone who thrives in community. And you will thrive in community. I promise you fucking that. The moment that I stepped into a mastermind where they were making 7-8 figures in their businesses, while I'm over here having not hit my first million yet, like in 1 year. Like, I haven't hit my first 7 figures in 1 year, which is like, that's the goal. That's where I'm going, because I know the level of person I need to become. And I love the act of becoming. Like, the money is great, but I know the person that does those kinds of big numbers is because they do big impact. And that big impact requires me to be in a level of leadership that can hold that level of people. And these people that I'm surrounding myself with, I watch them. I watch them, how they regulate their own nervous systems, how they expand themselves into bigger and bigger and bigger, and how things that used to be hard are now easy for them. And so it's just really interesting to watch. And I love this because this is where I love expanding. I love the art of becoming. Instead of I'll figure it out myself, think about it and say, I'll move faster by being in the right rooms. So find that fucking room. Part 3, the people in my spaces and the artists that I mentor, they do not have a plan fucking B. This shit drives me bananas. It's so easy. It is so easy, especially as tattooers, especially as tattooers. I like to look at it from the perspective of like tattooers, coaches, Reiki healers. If you already have a business, a thriving business built on one-to-one, a lot of people are like, oh, well, I already have this. Like, I'll just dabble in this. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And this is the reason why, like, my Scale Mastermind space is so high level, because I can, like, you are not even allowed in this space if I even set an energy of maybe in, maybe out. Because of the fact that, like, you're not ready, and I gotta bring the room, like, you gotta have the hungry energy of like no fucks given. And the funny thing is that like I've had people in my Scale Mastermind where they weren't even full-time tattooers yet, but they were like, no, but I want to build a foundation on this, like where I'm already building my octopus business and I want to build multiple income streams. I had a woman that came in who was an apprentice tattooer who also loved to do Reiki and healing work, and she was like an energy healer prior to becoming a tattoo artist. And so she was like, I want to integrate both of these things and I want to have multiple income streams and really build my offer suite. And honestly, like you can do that in both my Beyond the Stars and the ARC spaces. This is what I teach. I teach you how to build a brand that gets you to the ultimate octopus business. Like, you don't need to be in Scale to do it, but being in Scale is because you're ready for that high level mentorship. You're ready for close proximity. You're ready for someone to be in your business and to really get real time feedback for what it is you're doing. You know, because oftentimes a lot of people don't want feedback because they're just afraid of like being told that their art isn't good enough. It's like, you know, someone telling you that that's not a very good art piece. Like, you take it so personal. And so it's almost like it's another level of hunger that someone's just ready for themselves to be critiqued, ready for their art to just be like, okay, like this is how we go to next level. This is how we 10x this thing that you're already doing. And so now she's no longer an apprentice. She has like a full blown offer suite and she's killing the game. Like so nuts. So the greatest thing is that like you cannot have the plan B. You have to burn the boats. Burn the boats. They don't say, well, if this doesn't work, I can always go back to X, Y, and Z. Because if you give yourself an out, your nervous system will take it the moment things get uncomfortable. If you allow yourself to kind of sort of commit, you will get kind of sort of results. If you say, well, I'll just see what happens, and guess what? You're already setting yourself up to quit. Because the people who make it, they go all in. They decide, this is what I'm doing, period. And because they don't give themselves an escape route, they find a way. They find a way. Right? When you don't give yourself an escape route, you find a fucking way. It's the same thing for me. I was like, I want to teach our tattooers how to meditate and get closer relationships to themselves while also growing their business. How do I mix the two? I don't know, but I fucking figured it out because I just kept taking action. And I didn't give myself a plan B. I was like, no, I'm all in. I'm all in. This is all about mastery. My timeline is my lifetime. I'm going to be doing this well past my retirement years because I fucking love it. Like, this is the type of business that is medicine to my soul. My community is medicine to my soul. If you want a business like that, I'm the mentor for you. If you just want a whatever get by business, I'm not the mentor for you. There's plenty of people out there for you for that. But I want to build something that leaves a mark on people's hearts and on their skin too, if they want to get a tattoo. You know what I mean? It's like all the different types of medicine. Like I'm here for all of it. So the real fear behind this, the escape route, like whatever, is because the real fear behind having like a plan B is because the real thought that's going on in your mind is just like, what if I fail? And failure is never a final destination unless you decide it's the final destination. You are the only one that says it's over when it's over. Like, nobody says it's over. It doesn't matter how many people are like, well, that didn't work, you should try something else, blah, blah, blah. You're the only one that can say it's over. Failure is just feedback. It's literally your business evolving in real time. And if you remove the option of giving up, every single failure just becomes a lesson that moves you forward. So instead of saying, I need a backup plan, he's like, I need a resilience plan. What will I do when I hit resistance? Right? I need a resilience plan, not a backup plan. You need a motherfucking resilience plan. Expand your window of tolerance, okay? Let yourself sit in discomfort longer. Journal on the worst case scenario and then feel what that feels like in your body. Buddhists call this the death meditation. It's like, they're like, okay, let me think about the worst ways that I could die. Feel into that fear, meditate on that fear, love on that fear, accept it in my body, and move through it. And you know what? It's the reason why you'll hear like these crazy ass stories, like these horrible stories. I once was listening to a true crime thing on Morbid, high recommend podcast, and they were talking about how these people were trying to steal from this Buddhist temple. And there's like a lot of gold there and stuff, and there's these Buddhist monks there, and they, lined up all these monks and shot them in the head. They shot one of them in the head, and none of them made a peep, not a sound, not anything. They all calm faces as they were getting shot in the head, all calm faces. And so unfortunate, it breaks my heart, but it's one of those things that goes to show that like how much time they dedicated and truly believed that no matter what was happening to them in that moment, that everything was going to be okay. And that they've totally like done next level regulation within their nervous system because of their belief in their own abilities to hold hard things, to hold tolerance, to tolerate really uncomfortable feelings within their body. And then the last thing I would ask of you is to anchor commitment in the body. Stand tall, plant your feet, say it out loud, I'm all in. Feel the certainty in your system. Feel what certainty feels like in your system. Feel what feels like to be a man, woman, person of your word. So instead of saying I need a plan B, it's like I need to bet on myself and back myself harder. Asking yourself the question, are you waiting, or are you trying to do this alone, or are you keeping a back door open instead of going all in? Because if you are, this is your sign to change that. This is your sign today to change that. Because what kind of like person do you want to be? How do you want to leave this legacy on this earth? Like, think about your future self. Think about not just your past version of yourself, which we heal, the present version of yourself, which is the only thing that matters. But I want you to like have a conversation. If you've ever done future work with me, meditations, or have ever done any meditations with me, rather, it's one of those things that I do like to go into sometimes if I'm feeling called to it, if it's channeling through, is when you channel your older version of yourself. And what would that older version say to you? Would it be proud of you for doing all the things that you've done? Would they be stoked? Would they have said to you, hey, like, those things just don't fucking matter? You know? One time I spoke into a future version of myself that was like 80 years old, short hair, white, short hair. And she looked at me and she's like, you are going to regret all of the times that you didn't love your body more. And I cried like a baby. And this was when I was like in my early 30s, because I still had like a small case of body dysmorphia. And even now I still have my moments, but where I just kept looking at myself in the mirror and I just didn't see what other people saw. And I always felt like I needed to be skinnier and skinnier and skinnier. And I had this idea of perfection in my mind. And although I was very healthy and eating, well and working out, I just didn't have the body that I thought that like I really desired. It made me really upset. And when I once had done this meditation, when my future self was like, you are going to regret all the times you didn't love all the energy you spent not loving your body more and worrying about the scale or what you look like, because when you get to my age, you're going to just love exactly who you were, and you're always going to look back at photos and saying, oh my God, look how beautiful I was, like look how beautiful I was at that age. And it was in that moment that I realized, I was like, oh my God, like I don't want to go through life feeling like I'm constantly berating myself or my body or something of that nature. And so I took a conscious effort and I committed, because commitment is freedom, to really look inside myself and just be like, I'm gonna look at my body and I'm gonna love my body. And it shifted so much for me. It shifted the way that I moved through life. It shifted my confidence. It shifted a lot of things. And now, of course, I'm like 37 now, and I'm going through another death and rebirth about like getting older. I'm just like, oh gosh, like I want to age beautifully. And not just from like the way that I look, but the way that I am, the person that I'm being as I'm aging. Like loving every stage of it and not trying to prevent it or to get away from it or to be uncomfortable with it. Like, and that's what happens with people in business, is they're constantly having this dysregulated relationship with their business and constantly trying to get away from it when you decided to become a gambler, motherfucker. So what did you expect? You're going to have discomfort in your comfort zone, and you're going to have discomfort growing out of your comfort zone. Which discomfort do you want? Like, there's no comfortability in staying exactly where you are. People wish, I wish it was just the same, and I wish it could just be easy for a little while. I've been through so much, and it's so hard. And I'm like, or you can look at all the hardships that you've been through and been like, yes, daddy, what's up? Let's do it again. Because you know what? It got me here faster than most people. Most people don't have what it takes to be successful. Most people don't have what it takes. They want it, but they're not willing to do it. Those are the people I coach. They're all willing to get in. They're all willing to go deep. So this is where you get to choose. You get the choice. You're like, what do I want to do? How do I want to live my life? How do I want to go through my life in business? Do I want to stay in my comfort zone, or do I want to grow? What kind of person do I want to be? This is all backed in that. Again, nervous system, self-healing, alongside growing a motherfucking empire. That's what you're here for. And hey, you know what? You got a couple places if you'd like to come through. Brandon and Book is still open. Next 7 people that sign up, VIP free upgrade. Or if you're into it and you really desire something banana crazy, you come into Scale. High-level mastermind, 6 months. There are only 5 spots left. Once they're filled, they're filled. This is where you become a leader in your industry. Choose your weapon. Choose your portal. I'll see you on the other side.